Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So those of you that have been following the channel for even a little while, like maybe the last, month and a half or so, recognize this guy. So it is back for a couple small things that we have taken care of already. So let me start off talking about those. So one of which is that for longtime followers of the channel, you know that this buggy, when the guy went to take it, we had a short in the electrical system here, and we end up having to replace his speedometer. And so, unfortunately, the speedometer that we replaced it with, the odometer wasn't working properly on it. Bummer. So he mainly brought it in, well, he brought it in for two things. He brought it in for that, so I bought a rebuilt speedometer and happily swapped that in, so covered that on my dime. The other thing he brought it in was he said when the car would sit for like maybe a week or so, 1-2 weeks, the battery would go dead, at least to the point where the car wouldn't start anymore. And so at some point he did an experiment where the car was charged up and he disconnected the battery. And then he let it sit for, like a month. Reconnected the battery, boom, fired right up. So that tells us that something was sucking current when the car was sitting and turned off. That's super weird on a car like a buggy that's this simple. I mean, these things, there's just not much going on electrically on these. It's pretty much got some lights, an ignition coil, a couple gauges. That's about it. No radio or something that could be maybe pulling power that you don't know about or stuff like that. So real mystery. So I hooked up a meter that could read down to milliohms, or actually even lower than that. But I set it to milliohms, and I read the current at the battery, and it was reading like 40 milliamps just sitting there with the car turned completely off. Now that may not sound like that much, but a couple things. One, it should be zero, right, when the car's turned off. And if you do the math, that many milliamps times 24 hours times say 7 days, and then you compare that to the capacity of this little battery that he's got here, that's enough to drain the battery by about a third in, like say a week or so. I kind of did the math, and yeah, that's definitely enough to have a very big impact on this little battery, which doesn't have a lot of extra capacity. Starts the car awesome, stuff like that, but these batteries just don't really have the extra reserve that, like a bigger full-size battery would. Regardless of all that, there was that current drain. And so opened up the dash and started poking and prodding at everything and couldn't find anything. I thought, okay, well, maybe we accidentally wired it up where the gauges were always on. Maybe the tachometer was always getting power. Like everything we checked, and everything was wired perfectly. And so finally we were sitting here playing with it. Rafa and I were both kind of scratching our heads, and he was basically pulling in and out the knob for the headlights. And all of a sudden the current went from, again, it was like 30-40 milliamps. It went down to 2 or 3 milliamps. So pretty much at that point, we figured that the light switch that was in there was defective and had at least a periodic short in it. And again, not a very big one. We're talking milliamps here, but it was enough that, if maybe the customer had the headlights on and turned them off or something, or wiggled the knob, that maybe that short would happen to the point where it would drain his battery. And so looked at his switch that was in the car. So this was a switch provided with the car. It came from a donor car that he bought. And this is a very cheap looking switch. You can see the whole body of it here is plastic, and I don't know where this came from. This is not what Wolfsburg West sells, but it seems very cheap. And this thing apparently has a short in it that if you turn it on and turn it off, it may provide that little path for current to flow. So that was pretty much it. That was the culprit. So after we took care of that, the current with everything turned off went down to like 3 milliamps, which is pretty much nothing, but not zero. And so again, I just wanted this thing to be at zero, like, so he could park it for a year and, fire it up. And so I started checking the fuse box, and one of the things I checked was the fuse on the far right, and pulled that fuse, and boom, the current went to zero. And that one had two things hooked up to it, one of which was the horn. And so I don't know if this is normal for horns, but so the way this horn was wired, which is the way early V-dubs are wired too, by the way, is the horn is always receiving power. And then even when the key is off, and then, obviously when you push the button, it makes contact on the ground side. But I've never measured the current across a horn before that was just sitting there idle, but powered up. So it's possible because they just have like a big coil of wires in them that I think goes from positive and then eventually to ground. So I guess it's conceivable that a horn could draw a very small amount of current even when it's not actively tooting. But anyway, so long story short, I took his horn and I moved it over to another spot on the fuse box, which only receives power when the key is turned on. So now, finally, after that, this thing is like dead, zero, nothing, nada, no current when the switch is turned off. So that should do it. But yeah, again, primary culprit, that headlight switch, maybe the horn a tiny bit, but I'm pretty sure that would have been the same as like any Beetle, early Beetle, or anything else that had the horn always hot. But I'm gonna have to try that on a horn someday, just for my own, knowledge or whatever. So yeah, no current being drawn now. I did also check his alternator. Output of his alternator is bitchin'. I think it's putting out 13 volts at idle. You rev it up a little, shoots up to like 13.4. So not a charging issue. For sure, it was just that current draw from that faulty switch. So yeah, took care of that, which took like literally half a day to troubleshoot that and take care of it. And then we swapped in his refurbished speedometer, and that's pretty much it. So he's gonna take it tomorrow and have tons of fun with it. So there you go. That's what this one's back in for. A faulty headlight switch and a faulty speedometer for that matter. So what else happened here today? So I don't really have any show and tell, but Rafa did take a 36 horse long block that we have. That's not for this bus, but it's just one that we were having Jacob build up, and we put it in the car. Put the Arboth muffler on it, which is in that box right there. Put the apron on, put the bumper on, and we figured out how we want the custom exhaust tip and stuff that we're going to have made on here, and took a bunch of measurements and stuff and pictures. And so that muffler, along with all that information, will be going to Tiger at A1, and he's going to modify that Arboth muffler to make one with a bitchin' outlet for us here. And so that was pretty much Rafa's day. He spent a little time on these seat frames. There was a couple very minor details. Again, we are beyond picky here, so there was a couple little things he wasn't 100% happy with that he fixed or changed or whatever you want to say. And then those are going to powder coating tomorrow. So very exciting. And I think that was pretty much Rafa's day. So my day, again, half or more than half actually, was on this guy. And then if you saw the thumbnail, you'll know that this guy went on its maiden voyage today as promised. I think yesterday I said I was going to try and do that today, and lo and behold, it happened. And the car felt great. I took it on my little back parking lot ride. Did great, went through a couple gears. Steers good, stops good, runs good. All the electrical seems to be working. So this car is getting very, very, very close to being done. I need to put door seals on still. I went ahead and now that I'm happy with the electrical, I went ahead and put his back seat in, put the battery cover on the battery box under there. Oh, I don't know if I showed you guys the semaphores. Let's take a look at those real quick. So there we go. There are a few things cooler than semaphores. That's it. So they don't flash or anything. Nobody knows what these are in the United States for the most part, unless they're old VW heads. So, and the light on the dash also just like illuminates and doesn't blink. There's no flasher in this circuit at all. So that's it. Semaphores, too cool. What else? I did have to spend a little bit of time with his throttle pedal, so it wasn't quite making it all the way to full throttle. It was going to like maybe 3/4 of full throttle. And so I spent some time fine tuning the bracket that I welded in the other day, fine tuning the pedal itself, kind of messing around with that. And now it's got full throttle now. So that's it for that. Yeah, so the next step with this car will be, I guess, to take it for a road test. And that may or may not happen tomorrow. And then, like I said, those door seals, I need to put his, the tunnel mat needs to go on still. And then these seat belts, I need to attach those. And geez, guys, I think that may actually be it. I'll probably find a few other little things, but yeah, for the most part, this car is like about that close to done. So that's pretty exciting. So that was our day today here. I guess today was blue car day at our shop. All the cars we worked on were blue. The Barndoor, the 58 Vert, and the Buggy. So yes, blue car day at Vintage Classic Specialist. That is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.